talk about Manchester United. We spoke about it a bit earlier. We're talking about this game between Aston Villa and Crystal Palace. The goalkeeper, the Villa goalkeeper, Emiliano Martinez. Emiliano Martinez then, because it looks pretty significant that he's not involved at all tonight.
Marco Bissot. Marco Bissot. Now you've had your questions. Thank you very much.
He was nabbing me then. I was wondering what's happening here.
It amuses me when I see that kind of a situation. Juliet Farrington just trying to ask the questions that the Aston Villa fans want the answers to. This is a goalkeeper they've had a huge relationship with, who's been a big part of their success. He's had huge personal success as well in the game over the last few years. There's been all this speculation throughout the course of the summer. Is he going to Manchester United? Is he moving on? Is he going to be Villa's number one? And we're just trying to find out the answers for the fans. And we want to know what's going to happen. The fact that he's not involved with this Aston Villa side would suggest there is a possibility he could be heading to Old Trafford. We know that Manchester United are in the market for a goalkeeper. There's been a couple of names on their radar. What happens over the next 24 hours or so, we don't know. But I think it's very clear that Unai Emery has a new number one at Aston Villa and that there is a chance that Emi Martinez ends up at Old Trafford.
Just on the goalkeeping situation at Manchester United, we are told that internal discussions at Manchester United over their next steps with regard to signing a goalkeeper are continuing. You mentioned the other option that they have. His name, Sané Lammens. He's from Royal Antwerp. Aston Villa, we think that they made an inquiry yesterday, but they haven't pursued it. And Emiliano Martinez, of course, is another player who United are interested in. We are told that both keepers are keen on a move to Old Trafford. Martinez has had other offers, but it's thought he is waiting on Manchester United. Now, one source has also told us that United have explored the conditions of a deal for Martinez while talks continue with Royal Antwerp over Lammens. So it's a case of trying to keep both pots boiling and then deciding which one they are going to go for, Manchester United, because Galatasaray also pushing for Sané Lammens as well. And United, as they have been practicing throughout this transfer window, they do not want to get embroiled into a bidding war. Both potential deals are, however, thought to be complicated. And so, given the time left in the window, there is still a chance, Asmir, that United won't sign a keeper before the deadline. If they do, and you were holding the purse strings at Manchester United, you were in the recruitment team at Manchester United, who would you go for, Martinez or Lammens?
Yeah, I think you have to go for Emi Martinez. I think they've had, a few issues in trying to replace David De Gea for quite some time now. Years, played so many games at a high level, done incredibly well for Argentina. I think it would be that statement signing in that position that they really need. And I think he's one that can be there for the next few years and hopefully provide some stability, because it hasn't quite worked out for the goalkeepers that have come over the last few years.
I find fascinating is that the recruitment that Brighton do, the data-driven recruitment, how widespread their recruitment is, that they lose a player of the calibre of Moises Caicedo. They lined up Carlos Baleba as that replacement straight away, signed from Lille. Took a little bit of time to settle in at Brighton, but last season he was terrific. He's got the physicality to get around the pitch. He's exactly what everybody's talking about, what Manchester United need. Casemiro in the back end of his career. Last season, Christian Eriksen there again, back end of his career. They have got Manuel Ugarte, they have got Kobe Mainoo as well, but it feels like a younger player who can get around the pitch in that defensive midfield area is what Manchester United, Ruben Amorim, is crying out in his system. And Jeff, you really, Bruno Fernandes is still the star man at United, despite the signings they've made. For me, if I see Carlos Baleba in that defensive midfield spot, that frees up Fernandes more to do what Manchester United need Bruno Fernandes to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I think bringing him in would be exciting because it gives Fernandes a chance then to link up with all these new players that are coming in, and it just lets him be him. And I think it'd be a perfect fit. Because
we see him drop back, chase
far,
a lot. He does, doesn't he? Does almost like the dirty work in midfield when you kind of want Bruno Fernandes to be that link, as you said, and the link with Matheus Cunha, Brian Mbeumo, and now Benjamin Sesko up front. you throw a Carlos Baleba in the mix, I don't think I'll be the only one believing. It will be the Manchester United fans believing that they can do something very, very special. But Matt, will they get him this window? Very unlikely. Brighton won't want to sell.
Yeah.
You mentioned the figure they're talking about. They want in excess of what Chelsea paid for Moises Caicedo. I believe they could get in excess of what Chelsea paid for Moises Caicedo. I rate this player that highly, and he's young. He's only 21 still.
And we should make it clear that Brighton have made it clear that he is absolutely not for sale. They want to keep hold of Carlos Baleba, and it sounds like if anyone wants him, they're going to have to spend big money. Another story we touched on there, Jeff, was Leeds looking at a number of striker options, including Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who's a free agent at the moment, having left Everton. Do you think that could be a good fit for both the player and the club?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I was looking at the age he is now. He's younger than I had expected because he's been around so long. He's had a good career. Injuries obviously have hampered him a little bit, but if you can get him fit, he's got Premier League experience and he's still young. I think it'd be brilliant.
He's one of those players. He's been around for such a long time that he's still young. I mean, I remember Donnarumma's one of those. I was looking at him yesterday and I thought, he must be 32. He's 26, Donnarumma, because he's been around since he was as a teenager. You forget some of these guys. What's it like? As a free agent, as Dominic Calvert-Lewin is, as you are at the moment, and we're going to talk more about your next steps towards the end of the show. But what's it like, that uncertainty, not knowing where you're going to be, and then also keeping yourself fit? That's got to be quite difficult.
Yeah, firstly, it's tough. Just like you said, the uncertainty. You don't know. There could be 5-6 clubs talking to you, and then within 24 hours it goes quiet or it gets a bit busier, so it is difficult to just sort of stay calm and just think what's meant to be will be, and then the training. I know some players go in and train with the PFA, or they might have a club who they've been with for many years, and they know the coach and says come in and train, which is quite difficult because you can be sort of in the way a little bit, but they are trying to help you out. And then other times, sort of like myself, what I've had to deal with, you either go to the gym or you're out running, and some mornings